Today I'll be showing you how to clean and maintain your Spyder paintball gun. Any new player, the first thing they should do is learn how to clean your gun. Doesn't matter you have a $20 marker, doesn't matter you have a $2,000 marker. If you don't clean it, after a few outings, it won't shoot right. Luckily, paintball guns are designed for very easy maintenance. Very easy to take apart, very easy to clean it, and very easy to put it back together. Today I'll be demonstrating using a Spyder Imagine in a very old version. But as long as you have a Spyder paintball gun up to 2011, they are all designed the same internally, so this should apply to all of you. If it doesn't, what you should do is go find your paintball gun's manual. I have linked below on how to locate your manual and how to figure out which gun you have if you don't know. Alright, what you need is first a clean surface, your paintball gun, a barrel swab, a clean towel, a paintball oil, paintball lube. Right here I have an Eclipse silicone lubricant, but any Dow 33 based lubricant will do. If you don't know which one to use, go to your local paintball shop and ask which lube should you use for your gun. You also need a metric hex wrench. For today, you just need a 3mm one, so take that one out. If you would like to replace the O-rings on your boat, then you also need number 15 O-rings. These are the same kind you use for your CO2 tanks, so take 2 out if you are going to replace them. I'm not going to do it today, so I'm going to put it aside. Alright, let's begin. The first thing you should do when you take your gun is remove the air supply if you have it on it. Next, you should inspect your gun to see if there's any dirt, grime on it. Wipe it down, the entire surface. You want it to look nice. And also if you get dirty, eventually the dirt will get into your gun, and you want to avoid that. Just wipe it clean. Any oil, wipe it away. You should always avoid using any water to clean your gun. You do not want to get water to ever get into the internals of your paintball gun. Just wipe it with a towel and you'll be clean. Alright, so with your air supply off, make sure, click on your gun a few times to make sure there's no air remaining in here. Next, take out your barrel. Just use a hand and it should come off fairly easily. Alright, check your barrel plug or your barrel bag, clean it, put it aside. Check your barrel, inspect your barrel, see if there's any gunk, dirt, oil in there. Next, put your barrel swab through it. A couple times. If you have a barrel squeegee like this, put it in from the back end of the barrel and pull it through. Your barrel should be reflective, very shiny and smooth. Once you have done that, you can start working on the rest of your gun. Alright, your bolt assembly is right here. This is the part we're going to clean today. What I like to do is first take off the trigger from the rest of your gun before you take out bolt assembly. The reason why you want to do that is because this trigger right here is connected to a very sharp shear. And one of the most common problems with the Spyder paintball gun is because the sharp shear got caught with the striker O-ring, you just rip it apart and then your gun stop working. You want to avoid that because that O-ring is special and hard to find. It costs more than the CO2 O-rings you use. So you want to avoid breaking that, and if you take off the trigger first, you can avoid a lot of trouble. To take off the trigger, you'll be using a 3mm metric hex wrench and just take out these two screws right here. This one and this one. You don't need to touch this one today. I have shown in another video what do you do for this one. Now, you have to watch yourself a little bit. Not so much because you will hurt yourself, but when you remove the trigger and if you have the bolt cocked, the bolt will bounce back. It won't hurt you. Just don't want to catch yourself off guard. Alright. There you go. Now the trigger is off. Alright, now we need to take off the retaining pin before removing this whole assembly. When you take out the retaining pin, hold onto this end because there's a spring here that will want to push everything out. If you don't hold on to this end, everything will just fly off and you might lose a piece of your gun. If you do that with old Spyder paintball gun, you'll probably have a hard time finding a replacement, or on eBay it will be really expensive. If that happens, you might as well just throw your gun away. So hold this, don't lose anything. Take off the pin, let everything just slide out. Now just push this whole assembly out and try to keep everything together. Alright, so there you have it. Oops. Make sure you don't lose anything, like I almost did right there. Alright, so here you have this the main body of the gun completely open. You can check the inside to make sure there's no dirt or grime in there. Wipe it all clean with your barrel swab. Inside and out. Make sure you get everything. Do it a couple times until everything inside is reflective and have a mirror finish. Alright. That's good enough. Next, you take your towel, clean your bolt, wipe everything clean. You might have O-rings on this bolt. If you do, make sure to pay special attention to the O-rings. Check to see if there's any damage on them. If they do, just replace them with a number 15 O-rings you have prepared. Do the same for the rest of your bolt assembly. Here's a striker. Clean it up. Inspect the O-ring of the striker carefully for any damages. If it's damaged, you may have to replace it. Wipe it clean, put it aside. Check the rest of your bolt assembly. The spring, the washer, this plastic thing, the back part. Alright. There you go. We're almost done here. the final thing you need to do before putting everything back together is to lube up your O-rings. What you do is take your lube, put a drop on each O-ring like this. And just spread it around with your pinky. If your boat have O-rings right here, also put a drop right here. Wipe it. Alright. If your boat is having problems caulking, you might also want to put a couple drops of lube right here. But that's not necessary. It might get onto your paintball. Alright, to put it all back together, first you align it, push it in the pin, then push both the bolt and the striker into the gun. There you go. Together. Alright. It should slide in very easily because you have your trigger off. Next, you have your spring, your washer, and this plastic thing. Make sure your washer is clean. You don't want anything caught in here and damage the internal of your gun. Push it in flat against the edge of the gun. Then push in your spring and this thing. Just push it in, and you use this to push in rest the bow assembly. When you have it push in, put in a retaining pin, and there, all done. Just need to put in your trigger. If you run into any trouble, like you're not sure which direction, how to put in each part, go and check the manual you have printed out. It will show you where everything is put together. Always have this with you when you're working on your gun. Alright. Now just put back your barrel. There's also an O-ring here. When there's an O-ring, lube it. And just very easily screw it in. Alright. Put back your barrel plug or your barrel bag, and there, your gun is good as new. Have fun shooting!